Now on Coast TV News.
Protecting Dewey Beach, how one committee is looking at ways to preserve the town.
And iced-in ferry terminal, multiple services struggling as Delaware Bay stays frozen.
And we are expecting a blast of cold air. We already have extreme cold concerns throughout the Northeast, and we're going to be lumped right in there with that.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
The bay side of Dewey Beach, an area known to flood a lot when storms roll around. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. We begin tonight with how one committee in Dewey Beach is looking to preserve the town for years to come.
Dewey Beach's Resiliency and Sustainability Committee is covering a wide range of topics at tonight's meeting that just started at 5. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson live in Dewey. Brandon, after tonight, beach replenishment funding in Dewey could be used differently.
Maddie, there is no property tax here in Dewey Beach, but there is that beach replenishment fund that you mentioned, and funds go towards, from that beach replenishment fund, goes towards maintaining the dunes as well as beach nourishment projects here in Dewey Beach. After tonight's meeting, that money could go towards other areas within the town, and the committee is also looking at ways to improve flood insurance for people here in Dewey Beach. Whether you enjoy the waves on Dewey Beach or the calm breeze on the bayside, storms tend to batter the beach here, creating heavy flooding and beach erosion.
You can't control Mother Nature.
Dewey's Resiliency and Sustainability Committee is actively building an updated comprehensive plan. The last comprehensive plan was in 2018. Kylan Milady has lived in Dewey Beach for just a few months, and already she's had to deal with bayside flooding.
I think having some drainage, maybe pumping the water out of the streets that tend to flood, that we know tend to flood, would be helpful.
The town is in different phases on multiple flood mitigations projects.
The town is doing what it can to help mitigate that.
With Reed Avenue and Jersey Street getting attention first. Damage to Dewey Beach is not just strictly on the bayside. Virginia Rodino, who lives in Dewey Beach, says building near the beach might also create problems.
Development has been done, and that has probably caused erosion.
From the bay to the beach, Dewey knows the future depends on what's done before the next storm. According to tonight's agenda, a reason for updating the 2018 comprehensive plan is to align with state requirements that were just not around when this plan was made in 2018. Live in Dewey Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
Brandon just mentioned Reed Avenue. Now that project is on hold. You might remember Reed Avenue was approved by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for improvements in August 2024. But Dewey's town manager says that money has not been released, so the town is asking people to contact their representatives. The town says the delay leaves Dewey vulnerable to more flooding and storm surge.
Sand and ice, that is the scene up and down the coast after this stretch of freezing cold. Take a look from our coast copter at the frozen Delaware Bay. The freezing temperatures have forced the Cape May Lewis ferry to cancel several trips over the past 2 weeks. The ferry says today was better with no cancellations, but this weekend that could be tricky again.
I think what's going to happen is the slushy ice that we have here now is going to freeze solid, and that will be a problem for us. But then again, it's every day is different, and we'll just keep a good eye on it. And we also will have the tug back over here, so I might have them break some more ice for us on Sunday. We'll just have to wait and see.
The Delaware Pilots Association tells us they faced similar struggles in Lewis, getting to boats waiting to travel up the bay. Riverboat pilots had to use the Indian River Inlet for a couple of days. And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how prepared was your town for winter storms?
Yeah, we're kind of getting out of the storm, so let's see what people think. And 44% say they're basically ready, 12% say moderately, 38% say fully equipped, 6% say minimal planning.
And we do have a comment today from Jennifer. She says, we're in the unincorporated part, but DelDOT has been much better on our road compared to winter in 2016.
That's good news there. If you haven't voted yet, you can do that right now, coasttv.com or our mobile app.
Now let's go ahead and take a live look into Dover as we get ready to check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams.
Well, you know the cold is very serious when we have the potential of snow and we're like, forget about the snow. Let's talk cold. That's how cold we're talking. And this weekend, the wind chill is going to fall dangerously low. We're at 31 degrees in Milford at this present time. Traffic's moving pretty steadily there as well. And we'll have the temperatures at 23 degrees as early as 9 o'clock. Listen, it's going to be another one of those turn the heat up kind of nights. And then this weekend is keeping it all the way cranked up the entire 24-hour period. Now, we're expecting temperatures to drop into the 20s for late tonight for the Delmarva Peninsula in general. The winds aren't necessarily going to be too much of a problem thus far, but they are going to start picking up here pretty quickly as we go into Saturday and Sunday. We do have a freezing spray watch that's now being issued for us, and that stays in effect for the weekend as well, meaning that if there's just anywhere near any kind of water whatsoever, it's going to freeze solid, like freezing rain, so to speak. And a newly issued high wind watch kicks in. And that's what's going to start increasing our nosedive with the wind chill in a major way. And we're talking about winds accelerating beyond 40 miles per hour, up to 50 in some cases. That's also applicable for the folks in Berlin, Ayrshire, as well as Ocean City and Golf Club Shores. Coming up, we're going to talk about just how low we're going to dip with that wind chill and why you got to be ready for that change.
Paul, thank you. A long vacant building in downtown Ocean City is close to a comeback, ready soon to be the new home of the downtown post office. The organization OCDC bought 102 Worcester Street in 2023. The goal was to reinvest in downtown and bring back a property that was neglected for years. OCDC says the exterior work is finished and the U.S. Postal Service is handling the interior fit.
In an exclusive and wide-ranging interview with NBC News, President Trump lamented the violence in Minneapolis, discussed the future of the central bank and other issues he claims as accomplishments during his second term.
But as NBC's legal affairs reporter Gary Grumbach reports, we are now getting a price tag on some policies.
If we don't have strong people...
President Trump telling NBC News anchor Tom Yamas he's learned lessons from the violence in Minneapolis, that his administration could have used what he called a softer touch in tactics, but that federal agents had to be tough on criminals. Those tough tactics leading to the deaths of Americans Renee Good and Alex Preddy, shot by federal agents.
I'm not happy with what happened there. Nobody can be happy, and ICE wasn't happy either. But I'm going to always be with our great people of law enforcement. ICE, police, we have to back them.
The administration has carried out immigration raids in several U.S. cities, all run by Democrats. But a new poll shows Americans aren't happy with how the Trump administration's immigration policies are being enforced, with 65% saying ICE has gone too far. That's an 11-point increase from June.
The data shows that overwhelmingly, even Republicans, non-MAGA Republicans in particular, are really upset.
The president also discussing his deployment of National Guard troops to cities to curb crime.
Crime in all cities is down. And you know why it's down? It's down because of us.
But a new report out today from Senate Democrats say the deployment has cost taxpayers more than $330 million so far. Another topic, the Federal Reserve. For months, Trump has been urging Fed Chair Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. Trump says he and Kevin Warsh, his pick for the next chair, are on the same page.
Well, I think he does, but I think he wants to anyway. I mean, if he came in and said, I want to raise him,
if he said that, he wouldn't have gotten the job.
He would not have gotten the job, no.
Jerome Powell's term as Fed chair technically ends in May, but last year the Department of Justice opened investigations into Fed Chair Jerome Powell and Fed Governor Lisa Cook. Now, Democrats on the Banking Committee, along with Republican Senator Tom Tillis, say they'll block any Fed nomination until those investigations are over. That means Powell could stay chairman for the foreseeable future. Gary Grumbach.
And the annual Super Bowl food drive is back at the Food Bank of Delaware. How to participate?
And it's going to be super cold for your Super Bowl. You might definitely stay inside.
But first, what goes into the Delaware State Police K-9 unit, how these dogs are trained to become lifetime deputies, up next.
We all see Delaware State Troopers when they're out and about patrolling, but there's a part of the job we don't see as often, the K-9 units. As Coast TV's Brandon Ferguson shows us, these pups get all trained up so they become deputies.
When you think of canine units, you might think of this. A police chase ending with the canine biting the bad guy, or in this case, the decoy. But there's a lot more than just high-speed chases.
Do a variety of things, whether it's explosives odor or narcotics odor, and then searching for people, missing persons.
From the time DSP buys a dog, there is 6 months of training that takes place. From scent training.
Then they start air scenting, which is what you saw him doing, where he lifts his head up and he's smelling it high in the air as opposed to just in a line, so to speak, in an area on the ground.
And obedience training. This training went through police chases, traffic stops,
Keep back up, bud.
and scent tracking. Although this is Delaware State Police training, every canine unit in Delaware follows the same course, no matter if you're a town police department or DENREC. In total, there are 30 DSP canine units statewide, and if a canine is needed, the closest available unit, no matter the department, will respond.
Yes, I worked at Troop 5, but I was the only dog in Sussex County. So at that time, I kind of listened to the radio, and if I knew something Troop 4 looks like may need a dog, I'd start that way.
A police canine will spend anywhere from 10 to 12 years on duty.
After that time, each handler is offered the opportunity to adopt the dog, and we haven't had anybody not adopt their partner.
In the end, the badge may come off, but for these canines and their handlers, the partnership never does. For Coastal Connections, I'm Brandon Ferguson.
We are bracing for some serious cold over the weekend, and I can't really tell you, there's so many ways you could try to say this thing, but the bottom line is it's going to be the kind of cold that's dangerous for you to be outside for an extended period of time. So plan indoor activities over the weekend. You can still go out, just dress in layers, lots of layers. So in Rehoboth, 30 degrees, dropping back to 26 by 9 o'clock, mostly clear skies. Now, we have a newly issued wind watch in effect for all the inland areas. Remember, we were talking about, gale force winds along the waters, but now that's moving inland, and I expect this to happen. It stays in effect for us going for the entire Delmarva Peninsula. And then in addition to that, we have what's called a freezing spray watch, which basically means any kind of water that sprays upon any kind of ship that's outside or boat or whatever, it's going to freeze instantly, like freezing or frozen rain. It's just going to be very, very messy to be anywhere near any kind of water. Any kind of standing water is a big no-no over this weekend. And then we have extreme cold. All this blue you see that's not in our area, but we're in the vicinity of. Extreme cold watch is in effect. That's what happens when your wind chill factor drops to like 10 below and goes below that as well. But for tomorrow, relatively speaking, a mild day, 34. And I say that relatively because over the weekend, we're going to feel much worse for Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures in the 20s. And then for Friday afternoon, we'll see cloud cover going to increase. And there's going to be a brief flurry that'll push through. But then the real weather, the real headliner hits on Saturday afternoon with temperature of 12 degrees. This is actually not, when you see these 11s and 12s and 13s you see right now, that's not the wind chill. That's the actual temperature. The wind chills will be much more profoundly lower. Now, the winds are going to pick up at 40 to 45 miles per hour by Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon, we're looking at 50 to 54 mile per hour winds to 56 mile per hour winds going into Saturday. Sunday in the morning time, we still stay blustery with those winds. And the wind chill factor, well, at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're at 1, 2, 3 degrees. Feels like 10 to 6, 7, and 8 below zero Saturday afternoon. Saturday evening, we drop to 12 degrees below. And then Sunday morning, we wake up to 15 at the very least for most locations. And we stay that kind of cold. So I want to remind you about the signs of hypothermia: confusion, shivering, followed by difficulty speaking, sleepiness, and of course, stiff muscles. Be mindful of those signs of hypothermia. They apply this weekend. And then finally, we'll see that last spritz of cloud cover to move out of the way. So we're looking for it to continue to stay very cooperative for us. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We are banking on it staying that kind of cold all the way around.
Thank you, Paul. The Food Bank of Delaware is tackling hunger at its annual Super Bowl food drive. That returns, and it's super, like the food. With a big game this Sunday, the Food Bank of Delaware is encouraging people to donate soup with the goal of collecting, listen to this number, 2,026 pounds. Get it? 2026 by the end of the drive. Leaders say donations directly support the healthy food pantries in Milford and Newark, and the Super Bowl brings people together, so organizers say this is the best time to help neighbors.
Especially and don't this forget time of year and the cold weather and everything, we're seeing over 100 folks a day that are visiting our healthy pantry centers both in Newark and Milford. So having that soup there to give folks that's hearty, and everybody loves a bowl of soup on a cold day is something that's really special this time of year.
It absolutely is. The drive runs through February 16th, Charlie.
And don't forget the Super Bowl, that's more super like man or star, right here on Coast TV, Sunday, February 8th. Pregame starts at 1, kickoff at 6:30, and after all the coverage, stay tuned for Coast TV News.
Some things to know: if you're hosting a Super Bowl party, it's going to cost you more to feed your friends. Wells Fargo estimates a food spread with typical game day food for 10 people will cost $140. That's only 1.6% more than last year, and it's a lot less than the overall cost of groceries, which has gone up 2.4%. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network, we have live men's college volleyball when Maryland Eastern Shore hosts Dominican University. Then catch the final score at 10:30. You can also watch that volleyball matchup on DSN Plus, along with these exclusives at 5:30. Boys basketball when Sussex Tech hosts First State Military Academy.
And coming up, honoring Corporal Snook, where you can get a memorial sticker for the fallen trooper this weekend. Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 5.
The Back the Blue event honoring Delaware State Police Corporal Matthew Ty Snook, who was shot and killed in December. Well, that event to honor him is at the Georgetown DMV Sunday. Drivers go through a pattern you're seeing here. They get a memorial sticker for their car, and that sticker, once they go through, will have Corporal Snook's name and end of watch. Now, this event in Sussex County, you're seeing footage from the Newcastle event. In Sussex, it's February from 8:30 to 3 at the Georgetown DMV. It's rain or shine unless severe weather forces additional changes. And again, it is a drive-through. The stickers are available by donation only, all money going to the Snook family. Google's parent company Alphabet said Wednesday it plans to double its AI spending this year. It plans to spend up to $185 billion in 2026 as it builds artificial intelligence data centers in the U.S. The higher projected spending comes as Alphabet's revenue passed the $400 billion mark for the first time.
And a heads up to our viewers, due to the Winter Olympics from February 9th through the 20th, you can catch Jeopardy on our sister station, Fox 21, at its regular time, 7:30. Same show, just on a different channel while the games are on.
Here's a live look outside into Ocean City, a beautiful sunset on the beach. One more check on the forecast right after this.
Coming up new on Coast TV News at 6, the price of Dagsboro development, what fee increases the town is considering, and as more people move to the southern Sussex County community.
Right now in Lewis, we're holding at 30 degrees with the winds staying relatively calm for us. Now we're looking at temperatures dropping down into the 20s pretty quickly under mostly clear skies, relatively light winds, and that's going to add to the radiational cooling that will occur. Gale winds, still a big concern for us, and then we have a high wind watch for us in effect throughout the inland areas. That's really going to allow for the winds to move at about 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting up to near 50 in some cases. And cold weather advisory and watches are in effect throughout the entire Northeast as a whole. Our umbrella giveaway winner, Dwayne, congratulations, courtesy of Selbyville. Glad to have you. Now, be sure you keep in touch with what's happening with your forecast by calling our weather line. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Bruckstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast, exclusive 10-day forecast. Listen, we're calling for significantly windy conditions for both Saturday and Sunday. Yellow alert day on both days. Of course, the Olympic kicks off, and we will have a snow flurry or two late Friday going to early Saturday. But once again, the main headliner is going to be that cold.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.